Shredded chicken is great for meal prep or if you want to add extra protein to your recipes. I'll show you my simple and easy method for the most flavorful and juicy pieces. When making shredded chicken, you have plenty of options at the store. Lean white meat is going to give you really flavorful and juicy pieces, but you have to make sure that you don't dry it out. You could also use dark meat like thighs and legs if you prefer a richer taste. The additional fat is also going to allow a little more buffer so that the pieces don't dry out as quickly. If you prefer to use bone-in meat, I recommend that you remove the skin so that the meat doesn't get too greasy and it's going to take a little bit more time to cook. So how much meat will the shredded chicken yield? For every 8 ounces of chicken, you're going to get 1 cup of shredded meat. If you do use bone-in pieces, you're only going to yield about 45% meat, so make sure you use 1 pound of chicken. Typically, when making shredded chicken, you either boil or poach the meat. However, you have to use a lot of liquid and the flavor is a little bit lacking. My method uses a really flavorful 2-step process to sear and steam the meat so that you get really moist and juicy pieces. I have these beautiful pieces of chicken breast. They're about 8 ounces in size. The first thing you want to do is to dry the surface. This removes any excess moisture that will cause the meat to steam instead of brown. Flip the pieces over and dry the other side. I like to keep the seasoning really simple with salt and pepper. The salt is going to enhance that umami taste of the meat and the pepper is going to add a nice spice. However, if you want to enhance the flavor further, you can add these wonderful alliums like dried onion powder, garlic powder, or to kick up the herbaceous note, add in some Italian seasonings or even herbs de Provence. Or if you have a favorite seasoning blend like taco seasoning or fajita, sprinkle that on top. I use kosher salt. The nice flakes are going to stick to the meat. Season 8 to 10 inches above so that it evenly coats each piece. If you season too closely, you're just going to get a small area, so bring it up top. Sprinkle on some black pepper. This is coarsely ground. Flip the pieces over to the other side. You want to make sure it's well seasoned so you get a nice savory flavor on each piece. Now it's time to sear the surface. Use a large 12-inch skillet. It could be cast iron, stainless steel, or a Dutch oven. Just make sure that it has a lid. Heat the pan over medium-high heat. You want an initial blast of heat in the hot pan so that it browns the surface so you get a really delicious crust. Add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the pan. Wait until the oil is nice and hot. Once it starts to shimmer, you can add the chicken. I like to add the pieces presentation side down. Make sure to give the pieces enough room so that they can all brown evenly. Give the pieces a light press on the surface so they have the most contact with the hot pan. Do not move the chicken. Just let it sear for about 3 minutes until it develops a really nice golden brown crust. Oh, this looks gorgeous. Sear the other side for just 1 minute. Searing is going to add so much flavor to the meat, but now it's time to finish cooking the chicken. We're going to steam it. Add 2/3 cup of chicken broth or stock. This is unsalted because I want to be able to control the sodium levels. You want just enough liquid to cover the bottom of the pan. Now add the lid and cook on medium heat. Cook the chicken until they reach about 160 degrees in the thickest part, about 7 to 9 minutes. If you're using pieces larger than 8 to 10 ounces in size, you're going to need to add more time. I recommend if you're starting to lose moisture in the pan, go ahead and add about 1/3 cup more liquid. The chicken is going to cook relatively quickly while it steams, but if you want to add more aromatics, throw in a sprig of rosemary or thyme. Ooh, the steamy, moist heat environment is going to keep the chicken really juicy instead of dried out. Transfer the chicken pieces to a clean plate. If you'd like, you can save the juices at the bottom of the pan and make a gravy, or if you plan to meal prep, you can place some of the juices on top so that the chicken doesn't get dried out in the refrigerator. Do not shred the chicken right away. Let the meat rest for about 10 minutes. This is going to allow the juices to redistribute so that it doesn't just run out all over the plate. Gosh, this shredding of the chicken is taking forever. There's gotta be faster ways to do this. Shredding chicken with your hands gives you the most control over the size of the pieces. However, if you're making a large batch, this could take a long time. If you're in a hurry and the meat is still hot, use 2 forks to shred the chicken. Use 1 fork to hold the chicken down and the other one to pull the meat. You want to pull them with the grain. You can see these little strands of the muscle fibers, and that's going to help you shred the chicken easily. Grab your hand mixer. Add 1 piece of chicken to the bowl. If you're using thighs, you can use 2. Press the paddles into the meat and use the lowest speed to shred. Now you have beautiful shredded chicken. Now it's time to pull out the big guns. Add 1 to 2 pieces of chicken to the mixing bowl. Use the paddle attachment. Mix on low speed until it's all nicely shredded. Turn it on. This is great if you're going to break down a large batch. For more finely chopped pieces, use a food processor. I like to break the chicken into smaller chunks so that it's easier for it to process. Just add enough so that it covers the bottom of the food processor cup. Cover and pulse. The large blades of the food processor are going to quickly break down the chicken, so make sure you check. This looks good already. You could also shred chicken in your blender. Because the blender cup is taller, I just like to use 1 piece at a time. Break it into smaller chunks. The small blades are going to give you more chopped pieces than long shreds. Cover and blend on the lowest speed. Stop and check every few seconds because the process is going to go very quickly. Wow, it's already shredded! Now that you know 6 different ways to shred chicken, what way is your favorite? I'd love to know. Geez, now that I have so much, how do I store it? If you're making shredded chicken for meal prep, just store it in an airtight container. Make sure the chicken is not hot when you place it in the refrigerator. Or you can freeze the chicken. I like to take 1 cup portions for each meal. Place it in a resealable plastic bag. I like to put it in a flat layer so that it defrosts quicker. Now you can refrigerate the chicken for up to 4 days or freeze it for up to 4 months. You know, eating plain shredded chicken over several days can get pretty boring. Here are a few sauce ideas to spice things up. For Italian flavors, toss the chicken in some marinara sauce or a pesto. Red or green works really well. For a sweet and tangy flavor, grab some barbecue sauce. Add some sweet and savory flavors with either hoisin or teriyaki sauce. If you're craving a little bit of curry, I combine some coconut milk with curry powder, or you could use your favorite Indian sauce. Top the chicken with your favorite salsa. Or if you want a little more heat, add some fire roasted chilies. For game day, grab some buffalo sauce and pour it on top. There are so many ways to dress up shredded chicken. Which one is your favorite? Need some fun and flavorful ideas for using shredded chicken? Let's go. Whoa, how about some cheesy chicken enchiladas? Or quick and easy chicken tacos? If you're craving something warm and cozy, try this chicken noodle soup or chicken tortilla soup. For a hearty meal, try these delicious barbecue chicken sandwiches. For game day, top some on some chicken nachos, white bean chicken chili, or one of my favorites, buffalo chicken pizza. With so many options, the delicious possibilities are endless. Now that you know how to make flavorful and juicy shredded chicken, how will you use it in your meals? Let me know in the comments below. Get the full recipe over on my site, jessicagavin.com. Happy cooking!